channel covers a whole bunch of retro games and retro handhelds, and what is more retro than Dance Dance Revolution? It's 2026, and you want to play some Dance Dance Revolution, or DDR for short, because I'm not going to be sitting here saying Dance Dance Revolution this entire video. I'm just not going to do it, so DDR is what we're going with. And, well, I went down that rabbit hole. It is a long one, and so let me help you with what you need, what you want to buy, and how to set it all up. And all of this works for Windows, Linux, and yes, Android. But on top of that, this also works for emulators, which is something that is pretty much missing across the entire internet. So you can play the PS2 version of these games, PS1 version, and so on. This was information that I just found to be crucially missing online, but we can do it here. But besides all of that, there is modern DDR that you can play, and we will be setting up. itgmania, which is what that is basically like Clone Hero is for Guitar Hero. It's just modern DDR. There's a few different ones. We're going to go with itgmania. So step one is you need a pad, something to play DDR on. You can use a controller if you're boring. Nobody wants to do that. So your only options are going to be buying a pad. But the problem is the options for playing DDR properly, not that great. I bought a cheap DDR pad off of Amazon made by Ostent, and it was just a USB soft pad mat type. It was awful, like extraordinarily awful. But here's the problem. The next step up is the L-Tech Core dance pad, which I have right here. It is a proper DDR pad made out of aluminum, has a lot of actual features, doesn't slip or anything like that, and all around is the best beginner option for DDR. Except it costs about 400 Canadian dollars before shipping, or about 300 US dollars before shipping. I paid 623 Canadian dollars all in for it to get to my house, then another $38 in duties since it was shipped to DHL to Alberta, because this comes from Poland and all that sort of thing. But here's the thing, because I know you're doing the same thing I did when I saw the price of that pad. There is no middle option. Trust me, I went through this. There is the $30 crappy pad, and then there is the $600 entry-level option. In that $600 price range, I'm talking Canadian, in that $600 price range, there's nothing else. You can DIY your own. You'll still spend like $400 and it'll still won't be as good as the L-Tech one. Or you can get the soft pad, and I see people that mod it to make it even better, but all the parts and know-how and all that, it's still another few $100s on top of that. There is just no good option. So manufacturers, if you are listening out there, CRKD, 8BitDo, I don't know, whoever, we could use like a $200, $100 DDR mat. Like somebody can make it. Like literally somebody can make it. It is one of the more popular games in arcades and everything still. Like people love playing it, and there are a lot of ways you can play it. Why can we not play it at home for cheap? Doesn't make sense. Now, L-Tech does make a 230 Canadian, basically soft mat that you can buy. It's a bit better than a soft mat, but the shipping still costs a ton. And while $334 total is about half of what the proper DDR pad costs, I have a feeling that you'd have to modify it and fix that on your own to get it to be proper and not slip and all that sort of thing too. So long story short, I mean, the only real option here is the L-Tech Core pad. But it all sounds negative until you actually get the thing. And it is actually really nicely made. I was surprised. I have no reference here as a DDR beginner besides what you find in arcade places and all of that. But this is super solid. It's heavy, seems nicely built. It worked instantly without issue. It has a nice detachable USB cable. Requires USB 3.0 to work. It wasn't working with a hub, so just keep that in mind. And so I connected it to my arcade cabinet running Batocera, and I just play whatever I want to play. Now, obviously, I can't show you where to get the games that I'm going to talk about today, but that should be the easy part. I do also want to point out that if you do have to buy the cheap DDR mat, everything we talk about today will be the same thing for that as well. So you don't have to be forced into buying the L-Tech Core pad if you don't want to. Just know that your experience might vary using the soft pad. Now, setup is easy across PC. If you want to play PS2 games, you need PCSX2. I have a guide showing how to set that up on PC in the description, but once you do, open PCSX2 in Windows or Batocera using the applications menu, then go to Settings, Controllers, and click New Profile, and create a profile just called DDR. And yes to any pop-ups. The very first thing that you have to do is enable SDL for it to be recognized. So make sure that you checkbox this SDL input so that you can actually see the actual mat. Go to controller port 1 and click clear mapping, top right. Now, the 4 DDR pad arrows correspond to the D-pad. So click D-pad up and then go step on the top arrow. Go click D-pad right, the right arrow, D-pad left, left arrow, D-pad bottom, bottom arrow. Then use a controller or keyboard for the rest of the buttons that you need, like select, start, the face buttons, and all of that. Whatever you want to use for those. Find your DDR game in the list, right-click, properties, change input profile to the DDR profile that we created. Start the game and enjoy. For anybody using Batocera like I do, I just launch it via the applications menu every time and it works just great. And yeah, this all works on Android as well. Using my AYN4 here as a test case, connected with a USB A to C adapter, set up NetherSX2. Again, I have a guide for it in the description. Open NetherSX2, settings, controller port 1, and if you push and hold on any of the D-pads, click add new, and then tap on the DDR pad arrow that corresponds to whatever one you did. So you're going to do 4 different mappings for the different arrows. And now that's going to work on Android for PS2. So that's pretty awesome. And for PlayStation 1 games, it was the exact same steps as what we just did for NetherSX2. Just use DuckStation as the emulator and all of the same steps. It's all the same. And if you're wondering about other emulators, it is the exact same steps. All you're doing is mapping those arrows to the D-pad and you're off to the races. Now for itgmania, once you have it installed on whatever PC you're using, head to options and then test input and see if the arrows are mapped properly out of the box. If they are, awesome, you're set. If not, head to configure keyboard pad mappings and scroll down to left, right, up, and down. Push left and then go and push left on the actual dance pad. Push right and do the same thing. Then do it for up and down. Then scroll down to save to disk and then exit. Everything should work great now. For Batocera, what I had to do was download the portable build off of their website, and then I put it into a .data folder, which is in the ROMs ports folder. Then I created an itgmania.sh file in the ports folder with what you see on screen as the contents, and I'll put that in the description as well. But basically, this is just a copy of what Batocera has on their ports wiki as what you need. Lastly, using SSH, I had to make the executable able to be used. So you have to do a chmod plus X and then the actual path to the itgmania, which once again, I'll leave in the description. If this all sounds like a different language to you, it is. But for those running Batocera, it should help get all set up and running. As for Android users, I couldn't figure out a way to get itgmania to work with Game Native. So unless there's another way to do it, I couldn't figure it out, just didn't work. Now, itgmania is cool because you can find a ton of song packs online and you just put them in the songs folder and then off you go. Just play whatever you want. There is a ton, and I mean an absolute ton of songs for every skill level, even Care Bears beginner level like where I'm at. But honestly, that's really it here. I wanted to do a video on this because I found information on this to be lacking online, and I figured, hey, if nobody else is going to do it, I'll do it. And I'm new to this, but hey, I figured it all out. Yes, I absolutely suck at DDR. I'm just starting. It is fun, and I'm enjoying it. Besides maybe playing it a few times in my life at different arcades, I have no connection to it. So it has been absolutely super fun to just see how difficult it is, but also how rewarding it can be when I actually do the steps that I need to do. Once again, this is all part of my whole arcade cabinet and everything to do with it, and just cool stuff, man. Like, this is fun to me. Like, all these peripherals I've been doing videos on, all these things, it's fun. So if you're interested in it a lot more, keep an eye out on the channel. I've been doing a whole bunch of them, but DDR was the one for today. And DDR in 2026 can be tough and expensive to get into, but once you do, there's a whole bunch of games you can play. So I don't know if it's worth it for a lot of people, but hey, for the people that love it, it is. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro gaming, and hope you all have a good one.